Starting. Hey everybody, I'm not sure if this is starting or not, but I'll start anyways. So I'm at the gym right now training, and I watch a lot of movies, and one of my favorite genre is dystopia and futuristic movies. And this whole pandemic, COVID-19 thing, has really it feels like a sci-fi movie, right? And they said that JCPenney, J. Crew, I forget, several other huge retailers are going bankrupt. They're declaring bankruptcy and restructuring. A lot of small mom and pop businesses are going bankrupt, and they're trying to push online schooling and stuff like that. And this is just my thought. As consumers, we crave for the newest and best thing, but we don't know what price we have to pay, right? And so what I mean is this. We are so enthralled with accessing things online. We're so enthralled with not having to go to the shop because we can just click a few buttons and things will get shipped to our house or home, right? This is what I think. In the future, only the super rich or elite or wealthy can go shopping. The business model is going to change. In other words, everyone will have to shop online. The only people who can shop at a store and have the real experience of touching the fabric, having a salesperson put the clothes on you, fitting you, will be super elite or wealthy. Okay? Shopping will become an experience. It will no longer be a place where you just get your commodity because you can just go online. Now, we have to think about this. We have to be very careful about this because is this what we want of our future? So, some of you guys may know I'm a fashion designer. I used to be anyways. I went to fashion school, and I went to fashion school in Vancouver and in Montreal, right? Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I went to, when I was in fashion school, I was new to the city, and a few of my classmates brought me to this really high-end fashion store. All they sold was like designer brands, right? And I didn't know this, right, because I couldn't speak French. But you had to get buzzed in. And if you didn't get buzzed in, they wouldn't let you in. And I didn't know that. So my classmate brought me along, and we got buzzed in. We didn't get buzzed in. We kind of walked behind somebody. And after we got in, the salesperson was really annoyed with us. And the salesperson was like watching us like a hawk because they knew that we were a fashion student and we couldn't afford the clothes that was offered at that store. And they were like really making us feel uncomfortable and trying to get us to leave the store. This is what I think is going to happen in the future. I was watching this video about AMC and, they're struggling, theaters are struggling, shopping malls are struggling. I think the business model is going to change a lot. And that's what I mean. Gym, retail shop, theaters, they're going to make it a super elite experience in the sense that instead of serving 1,000 people, they're going to serve 100. But that means they're going to have to raise the money so that they can still make the same amount of profit or keep the business going. So what's going to happen is they're going to make it into a really luxurious experience. Like if I was to run a gym and no one wants to come to my gym anymore, well, I'll still open my gym. Instead of serving 100 people, I'll just serve 10. But I have to jack up my price by 10 times the amount. But then the only people who can afford my service or the people who are super wealthy, that means I have to give them more of an experience. I probably will have to have an espresso machine, probably will have to have like a lot of perks for them, right? So in the future, what's going to happen is you're going to see the average person getting the average stuff, and the people who can afford the experience will get really, really high-end stuff, right? So then the divide's going to happen even more. Now, a lot of us, we're watching Netflix and YouTube and we think it's the greatest thing in the world. In actuality, it's not, because technology cost is actually a zero cost. There's a book that talks about the zero cost of things. As technology progresses, it actually gets cheaper and cheaper because the fixed cost of something, for example, if I was to start a company, right, or business, it costs the same amount to serve one person or to serve 100 person because the infrastructure, I had to build the infrastructure. But once I serve the 100 people, whatever, my fixed costs get lower and lower. So with technology, they're able to scale this way, right? And for the longest time, the history of mankind, we were not able to do that. We always had, for every growth in every business, we had to scale up, right? So in other words, the bigger the company grew, the more expense they had. But now, the fixed costs actually get zero, lower and lower. As they make more and more money, it costs them less and less to make the same amount of money, if not more. So I'll put up this book. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is this. We really have to fight hard for what we have, because in the future, everything we take for granted will be going away. Now, I don't know how long, maybe 50, maybe 100 years from now, a schooling system, how we interact with the teachers, classmates, that will be taken away from us, because they realize that it is much cheaper to give us an online education. Our shopping experience is going to be taken away from us, because they realize, not they, but just how society moves, right? When people think of conspiracy theory, it doesn't happen like that. It's just a bunch of us all kind of thinking about the same, and we kind of move along the same path. And so in the future, what's going to happen is the shopping experience is going to be all online. And so what's going to happen is, imagine 100 years from now, our grandkids will never be able to touch or feel a garment before they buy it. They will just buy it because visually it appeals to them, right? So my father's a tailor, and I went to fashion school, and I got to apprentice with him for about 6 months. And he taught me how to measure a garment, how to fit a garment so that a suit will fit nicely on a man, and so that it feels like $1 million, right? And so we're gonna miss that experience, About 6 weeks ago, I'm part of these martial art group, and they were hyping up the fact that we need to do online classes, and I resist that, because for them it's just money. It's about just surviving. And for me, I realized that what I offer is more than just teaching some fancy martial art move. It's about embodying your mind and spirit so that you become more indomitable, so that you understand, you have more awareness, you understand your body, your mind. And those things cannot be offered online. And this is what they're pushing, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is, we really have to understand that when things get easy for us, like it is so easy to watch a YouTube video, and in our mind we think we know how to do something. It is much harder to get in your car, drive somewhere, meet up with a bunch of people that think the same, touch and feel something, okay? And so, I want to get back to my training. I might shoot another video, but comment and tell me what you think the future will be, because this pandemic is a blip in the radar. In other words, it's not an end-all and be-all, but it's a huge indicator, right? A lot of things in life sometimes do not show itself right away, but there are signs and indicators that tell you what will come in the future, right? It's like in a bad relationship, you see telltale sign of that person's behavior, and if you choose to ignore it, you're going to pay the price down the road. So what I want to ask is, in the future, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen to mankind? Like the experience. I'm not talking about like crazy conspiracy theory. I'm talking about like just very subtle direction where we're going. So for me, I honestly believe that retail shopping will become a very luxurious experience. It's going to be very elite. Your average consumer will no longer be able to shop. So 100 years from now, only super rich people will go to the store, right? You will have to get buzzed in. Like if you go to Rodale's Drive, or if you go to Vancouver, or all these big cities with super high-end fashion retail shop, you can't just walk in. You have to get buzzed in, right? In other words, a sales lady or a clerk or security guard will look at you, or you have to have an appointment, and they will assess you really quick and they will try to see if you have the money, because they don't want everyone to come in and touch their product, because it might get damaged, it might get stolen, right? So for example, if you were to go to Vancouver, there's a Versace shop, I don't know if it's still there or not, and you have to get buzzed in. You can't just walk in, right? So same thing with schooling. In the future, they're going to push all these online schooling, but the only super elite, super rich kid will get to actually have the experience. So in the future, you will have to pay a huge amount of money for the experience. Everything else is just in your mind. And I always talked about this. Be careful of your mind. It's very manipulative. It will tell you that you can do things you can't. And it will tell you things are hard when it's easy. And it will tell you things that are easy when it's hard. You will not know the truth until you actually do it. And there's a lot of fake gurus out there that will teach you stuff, right? You know, like there's so many courses out there, like do this course, do that. In 21 days, learn how to become a YouTube, gain YouTube fans, subscriber. In 21 days, become an influencer, Instagram, blah, 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 right? And these guys are a bunch of charlatans. They try to sell you courses, but they don't qualify you to make sure that you're the right candidate because they're making money off the courses. Anyways, guys, I got to get back to my training. I'll probably shoot another video in about 15 minutes.